If the local housing market is an indicator, there might be some reason to hope that the D.C. area has weathered perhaps the worst of the economic crisis. First quarter home sales have not climbed back to last year's highs, but there have been some decent turnarounds for some local jurisdictions. And you may be surprised to know that the priciest of homes here are still getting snapped up, even if we are in an economic slump. Joining us now with more is Paul Valentino, the president of the Greater Washington Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage. Paul, it's good to see you again.
Great to be back.
Thanks for joining us with the latest numbers that you have. In a nutshell, before we get down to specific counties, what are you seeing as far as the movement of properties?
Definitely more activity in terms of numbers of units being sold. Houses in some areas and jurisdictions such as Prince William County and Fairfax seeing huge run-ups in terms of comparison from first quarter 09 to first quarter 08. Prince William, for instance, up 76% in terms of the number of homes sold compared to the first quarter of 08.
All right, let's break it down, and we have some information we can put on the screen so folks at home can follow along with us as far as where some of these things are happening. Let's start in Arlington County and get an idea here. We are close to the district. What's been happening in Arlington?
In Arlington County, what you're seeing is a steady Eddie type of relationship here. You have a slight increase in number of properties being sold, lower decrease in terms of average prices, largely because not a lot of foreclosed properties occurring in Arlington.
And here you can see that the average price is down from first quarter of last year, but still up from 2004 if we go back 5 years to look at where things are. We're actually ahead of the game from where we were 5 years ago.
That's correct. And if you remember back to 2004, we thought prices were pretty good back there. So perception is everything in terms of where you are.
All right, let's go north of the city, another suburban county, Montgomery County. What are you seeing there?
Montgomery County, slight increase. That's a tale of two different markets. You've got close in Montgomery County, Bethesda, Chevy Chase. You've got Gaithersburg and points farther north and west. Two really different markets where fewer foreclosure properties in close, more foreclosure properties out there in the Gaithersburg area.
And a pretty substantial drop, too, when you're talking about average property down $100,000 from first quarter a year ago. I'm guessing a lot of that is more to the northern part of the county?
Correct. Where the impact of foreclosures has a great deal to do with your average sales prices. Where you have a lot of foreclosed properties taking place, your average sales prices come down significantly. Where you don't, those average sales prices have come down a little bit, but maintain their levels pretty well.
And that takes us to our next area, which may have seen the greatest decrease in average price, and that's Prince William County. Big drops here in the prices of homes.
Huge. All related to the number of foreclosed properties. So 76% in terms of increase in units. Huge run-up. In fact, fourfold in terms of, for the quarter, number of units being sold there compared to, or I should say, under $200,000. A lot of the properties in Prince William County, under $2,000. So a huge run-up there. That's causing average prices to come down a lot.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, almost 35% drop in the price of the house that are being sold from first quarter of 08 until now. Of course, you're still, and you're also down actually from 5 years ago. So
correct.
If you are able to purchase in Prince William County, you can get some pretty good deals, it looks like.
Absolutely.
Nearby, Prince William County, Fairfax County, very populated area. What's happening there?
Fairfax County is number 2 in terms of number of units increases. That county is coming back very strong here also. They're also impacted by number of foreclosed units. So where you have the increase in units, about 24%, first quarter 09 versus first quarter 08. You also have the corresponding drop in average sales price because you've got all those foreclosed properties coming into those lower price points, dragging that average price down.
All right, let's talk overall now for the D.C. region. And when we talk about trying to move properties out there, for people whether they are looking to buy or they're looking to sell, let's talk about sellers first of all.
Okay.
Properties are being sold, but it looks like it depends on which price point you're choosing, right? You can't be too picky as to what price you're putting this on the market.
Well, the secret to pricing the house to sell is to nail that price right out. Statistically, if your house sells in the first 14 days it goes on the market, you're getting just about 100% of your asking price. The further out you go in terms of days on the market, the lower that price drops, and it gets down to the 70 and 80% of that original asking price. You need to ask yourself, if you're going to sell, how bad do I want to sell? Do I want to sell in this market? If I do, I need to follow the rules of the market.
But you are seeing, for those who are going a little more aggressive with their price point, we're starting to see some bidding once again, because people that are buying seem to have an idea what they're willing to spend, and if it's in that mark, they're jumping on it.
I've received calls from people who have submitted offers on properties, don't understand why their offer wasn't accepted. Well, there were maybe 9 or 10 others on that same property with stronger offers for whatever reason the seller accepted another property.
When we talk about the city, D.C., unfortunately, $1 million homes is not necessarily what $1 million home might be in other parts of the country. But when we're talking about the pricey homes, are they still selling in this market?
Still selling, and the same rule applies. If you price it properly, it sells. Again, same rule. If it sells in the first 14 days, if you've done your homework, priced it well, it'll sell at somewhere between 98% 99% of that asking price.
And the other thing is that when we look, if you open up the Post today, unfortunately, there's 19 pages of foreclosures listed in the Washington Post today.
Right.
These are still out there. Does this contribute, though, to these stats? I mean, are these homes the homes that are being sold, or are these existing homes being sold buyer to buyer?
Well, most of the homes being sold as foreclosures, fortunately, this is the great part of the market that I see, are being purchased by first-time buyers. There are a few investors out there taking advantage of low prices. They're needed. The investors are needed out there in the marketplace to absorb some of the less desirable properties out there that you can't get financing on today's market. But foreclosures are definitely a major part of our market here in the D.C. market.
All right, and that, unfortunately, will continue. Good for buyers, not so good for those folks who are losing their homes at this point. Paul Valentino, thanks for joining us once again.
My pleasure.
Always appreciate getting the details on that. We'll put it on the website as well, myfoxdc.com.